If the property market was a weather update, it would sound like this. We have strong winds blasting from the east coast to the west coast. Some parts of the country are frozen, while others are running out of swimmers. And a massive heat wave is coming from one particular Asian country. Overall, the forecast is sunny with an expected rise in temperature. Now that I've got your attention, let's get into our monthly property market update and let's break down this property forecast. If you want to understand why there are strong winds blowing from the east coast to the west coast, you have to follow the money. With tax time almost done, many individuals have been told by their accountants,
you need to reduce your taxable income.
Driven by frustration, these individuals are going to be fueling demand for property in the more affordable markets like South Australia or Western Australia. But this is nowhere near the hurricane we are expecting over the next few months. So if you're interested, keep watching. Last month, we saw stock levels rise in Sydney and Melbourne. And compared to the month of June, we can clearly see an upward trajectory of stock coming to the market, mainly in Sydney and Melbourne. But it gets even more interesting. Large real estate agencies in Sydney and Melbourne are reporting an increase in listings that are not yet advertised on platforms like Real Estate and Domain. So something is brewing in the background. This increase in supply is driven mainly by investors selling off due to increase in rates and poor cash flow. And to be honest, they have made money in the recent years. So now they want to cash out and send their money to work elsewhere. So we are anticipating that said investors will funnel their profits to more affordable markets like South Australia, Western Australia, and so forth, and they will be fueling the demand even further. We believe we're heading towards a supply crisis in Queensland, South Australia, and Western Australia. And if you think that these markets are already pumping, I agree. But what do you think will happen when cashed up interstate investors enter those markets? The property market has never been more exciting. On one end, we've got an upward pressure on property prices due to the usual suspects that we spoke about on this channel previously. Migration, and now add to that the weaker Australian currency, rental crisis, inflation, and international students returning into our country. But on the other end, and especially in Sydney and Melbourne, many property owners and investors are just frozen. They're not moving, not forward, not backward. They're struggling to read or assess the situation properly. Generally, this is due to a lack of strategy. But in other parts of the country, especially in the more affordable markets, properties are flying off the shelf, especially in coastal markets like Perth. Last but not least, we are expecting a heat wave from China, which is meant to turn on the heat on our property market even more. Australia is tipped to attract investors or Chinese investors again who are cashed up looking to park their money in safe markets. And Chinese investors are spending circa $6 million a day on Australian property. The official cash rate for August remains the same, and this is why our forecast to the property market is sunny with very little chance of rain. Real estate agents witness the uplift in demand firsthand. And as buyer's agents, we are noticing a shift in their sales tactics. They're no longer advertising with an asking price. They're now running sales campaigns that say offers over a certain price. For example, recently we saw a property for sale that said offers over $395,000 and it just sold for $470,000. Agents are capitalizing on FOMO to achieve record prices weekly. The data isn't keeping up with those records to the extent that valuers who usually value properties for banks are not finding recent comparable sales to justify the ridiculous amount of money some people are paying. So we're starting to see valuation shortfalls. This is something you need to be very careful with, and you definitely will be in a better position if you had a professional team on your side to help you navigate the landscape today. If you want to find out how we can help, drop me an email using one of the links below. There simply isn't enough properties for sale, for rent, under construction, pending approval in our country. So if you're sitting on the fence, I'd get off it soon because someone will probably buy it and start charging you rent for it. Thank you so much for watching. I'll talk to you again soon.